Alrighty, hello everyone, my name is ReclusiveZ and I welcome you all back to StarRupture. So it is January 6, 2026 and StarRupture has finally moved on from its playtest to its early access and is now available to everybody. So we can all now play it, not really worry. And funny enough, they've put it on a discount, so because it's discounted, I bought it, now I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna try and, you know, return to where I once was, even though I'm gonna have to rebuild everything because sadly, yeah, my saves are gone. Probably an issue moving from the playtest to the early access or who knows what, but yeah, my saves are gone. Rather unfortunate, but it is what it is. I renamed my previous playthrough to Playtest 2025, and this new one will be called StarRupture Early Access 2026, so hopefully those two won't be confused or conflicted with each other. But if you want to, you know, see what the playtest was like, you can go watch those two videos. Unfortunately, I didn't make it very far because, well, life. Gonna start a new game in this 2026 session. I'm gonna call it RecZWorld. Don't add a space because a space is considered an invalid character. I'm going to keep it single player. I'm going to keep the tutorial on for right now because I want to see if by chance anything has changed in either the characters, the setup, or maybe any of the information, or if there's new cutscenes and stuff between the original playtests and the current early access. And just in case, you know, if anybody new has found my channel and found this episode and they want to, you know, see more of what the story is and, you know, dive in and keep the background and stuff. So yeah, let's get started. Started back with our four main characters. We have the biologist, B1690-Samuel Umlo, convicted of a T attack, illegal medical practices, specialization, xenobiology, medicine, sleep production, previous occupation, Alaxium mine, pound sign CT-08. Characteristics, good-hearted, anti-government intellectual, hates the IRO, always ready to make a sacrifice, very proud and ready to fight to defend the weak. Weaknesses, exaggerated sense of justice. And we have our scientist, E0212, Chris Bonnet. Convicted of classified specialization, astrophysicist, quantum field theory, multidimensional mathematics, previous occupation, classified. Characteristics, always the smartest person in the room, very analytical and logical while not practical in his statements. Sounds a lot like me in a lot of ways. Weaknesses, tends to lack social skills. We have our engineer, E4101-Mave, Calente. Convicted of smuggling drugs and dangerous materials, aiding Ps. Specialization, engineering of space excavation machines. Previous occupation, lunar penal colony, pound sign 6T. Characteristics, disobedient, sharp-tongued, highly intelligent, can cause trouble. Weaknesses, her family. Everything for family. And then we have the soldier, S8466-Han, I'm going to call him Nerg. Convicted of desertion, specialization, interplanetary warfare, close combat operations, crowd control. Previous occupation, military prison in Anaka. Characteristics, obedient, careful, and loyal. Always planning his every move, values honor and duty above all else, natural-born leader. Weaknesses, none. Just because I may end up playing, you know, some of the crew that I know and other people, and because this is the previous character that I played as, and I was kind of starting to put her story together, I'm going to drop back into the engineer. I'm going to drop back in as Maeve.
What the...
Please don't move. I want to run a holistic scan. Commencing holistic scan. Life vitals normal. Prisoner E4101, welcome to the Argos program. Your adventure with the Claywood Corporation begins right now. Hello, I am Gal, your Galactic Assistance Liaison. The Claywood Corporation would like to apologize for any inconvenience you may have experienced. You can now exit the lander and begin your introductory training.
Right away? No breakfast or coffee? You're not much different from the colony overseers.
Nope, and hooray, coach, put me in. I'm ready. Yeah, these are basically your regeneration pods and stuff like that, basically where you respawn. In case anybody's interested in a little bit of the lore, Playwood Corporation, welcome. Dear convicts, welcome the first team of New Argos Project. Playwood Corporation is honored to welcome you to the surface of Arcadia 7, located in the Raptura system in the URV-X galaxy. Your presence as the first team after more than half a century of stagnation marks a new chapter in the history of humanity and the future of our company. Your mission is to extract, process, automate, and ship the resources required on Earth. At the same time, we're encouraging you to explore and document this undiscovered world, a potential new Earth. You were chosen for a reason. Each of you has unique talents and experiences that make you invaluable pioneers. Your past may have been difficult. Playwood Corporation offers you a chance for redemption and a fresh start. Each completed order brings you closer to your freedom you long for. Good luck. Yours sincerely, Playwood Corporation team. Huzzah, boss!
Welcome to Arcadia 7 in the Raptura system. The goal of this training is to teach you to effectively acquire and produce goods for our clients. However, we'll begin with something simpler. Arcadia is often bombarded by meteorites, which are rich in resources. You have been equipped with a tool to acquire them. Use it to extract what's most valuable in the meteorite.
Yeah, I can do that, boss lady. As I overheat the hell out of this tool. Meteorites have weak spots. Weak spots break the meteorite quicker and extract, I believe, more material. Alright, so I'm gonna throw all of this down just out here right now.
Good work. You'll need building materials to build the rest of the base. You can create them with the printer in your lander, but gather the necessary components first. Use the harvester to extract them, just like we did with the meteorite.
So yeah, this is a lot of what this early variant will be. It's much like Satisfactory or Factorio or Fortress Crafts.
I gotta admit, working here seems a lot better than at the penal colony. We definitely have better equipment.
The Playwood Corporation spares no expense to ensure its workers have access to the best possible equipment.
The view isn't bad either. I got used to seeing only gray rocks against a dark sky.
We're glad you like it. Arcadia can be beautiful compared to other celestial bodies.
Though I have this nagging feeling I'll regret saying that.
I am unable to predict your feelings, but if I can give you some advice, I suggest enjoying the moment while it lasts.
She's unable to, but I will. We are definitely not going to enjoy our time. Well, I mean, I'm going to enjoy our time. You will not enjoy your time.
Everything's ready. Now build the habitat that will protect your sleeve from Arcadia's dangers. Remember that your body is also a Playwood corporate investment, so it would be good to create a comfortable place for it.
Yeah, it would. So yeah, before I was cut off previously, I'm just going to build a bunch of stuff real quick to advance to the point that I gain access to some of the slightly more advanced materials so that I can then start building out basically the rough shape.
Your shelter, build a printer inside it. That way, you will always have it nearby, thus optimizing your work. Great. Now build a corporate terminal. That will allow you to complete assignments for different companies, which will, in turn, give you access to new buildings.
But yeah, just so I can get access to some of the more basic materials, which is right now.
The first reward was free, but you'll have to work for the next one. Send us some titanium.
How am I supposed to send what I've gathered back to Earth?
The same way you got here, but in reverse. Look up at the sky. Once you build an orbital cargo launcher, it will send supplies right through that rift. It will cover light years in seconds.
Yeah, that rift right there that is quickly being obscured by cloud cover and light from a nearby star. All right. So in my playtest, I was figuring out a way to monopolize this starting area and basically just... Because there's a lot of room to use going all the way over there to all the way over there and all the way down there. Because when you build this basic core, as you can see, it's got that outline in the distance. As you move it, that outline will move. And basically anything you build within that will be protected from the star when it ruptures. So you want to make sure that you place this as optimally as you can. That way it covers basically those titanium nodes and these wolfram nodes over here. These are basically your starting materials. These are the ones that you'll put miners on, or you can use your mining tool to mine off of them. They basically never run out. So yeah, I can extract materials I need from those if I want by hand, but that'll take forever. So I'm gonna cut right here real quick. I'm gonna place down some things and I will be right back. Alrighty, I feel like that'll be a proper visual representation of the idea I'm going for, because as you can see, if I come up here and I click this, we have this bounding box, and I may very well move things this way just a little bit more to open up this side region just a little bit. But I want to keep this pond clear right now, because if you get if you start building your platforms and stuff over this little pond, these water bulbs and stuff in here, basically like your first primary source of early game hydration.
Thank you, Mama. Good stuff.
They will stop growing for some odd reason if you encroach on them too closely. So by keeping that boundary box like that, just enough, it'll keep me from encroaching on them too much, and hopefully these will keep regrowing and I'll at least have an early source of, you know, hydration. And yes, the bounding box does cover up to here, which will keep the miner, when I place it up here, safe from the StarRupture. And you know, those ones down there are covered. They're not covered great, but they're covered enough. And as I said, as you can see, I can go pretty much all the way over here, so I have all this room back here going forward and all the way down there to basically build my starter / intermediate base within this area. It gives me plenty of room to work with. And as you can see, it was pretty easy to bridge across this gap, because unfortunately these pillars do have to touch ground. If they're not touching ground, they will error out and say they're not connected with the ground. And sometimes you can finagle them just enough to get them to float freely. And then you can use free-floating platforms to bridge off of those. But these also have a structural stability, which eventually they hit the limit of, unless you place a building that is touching ground, which will then restore the stability across that gap. So now I can use everything from there going forward across this gap and even expand out, you know, a certain percentage, and then place pillars like over here. I can bump these up to the same height, hit Y, lock them, come this way, and you know, I'll have to figure out the math because I'm too far out, or might be problematic. I will have to, it's going to require a considerable amount of finagling by me to get this to work the way I want it to, but I'll be able to figure it out, and then bridge these sideways, and then, you know, somehow place another support pillar to lock all this together. But that one down there, and that's not stable, but I can probably... And that's going to be figuring out how to get the system to work the way I want it to. Going to be very much a work in. So that's basically the limit of its stability. And this is the limit of its stability. Look at me already trying to figure out how to game this enough. Of course, I think you can also place towers on top of towers and use those to... Nope, you can't, colliding with another building. Odd. I made it work once upon a time. I'll keep figuring out, but for now, that's gonna be the general idea behind keeping my base somewhat floating, but also just high enough off the ground. In truth and honesty, I could probably lower it one notch, because it's not touching over there, and it's not really touching over there. And lowering it one notch might bring it to within just enough range to make this all work. Yep, that would, As I said, I will figure it out in a second, but that's the visual representation of it. So, time to build a power. You know what? I'll be right back. This is just how my brain works. It really is. Alrighty, it's gonna look a little wonky to start, but by lowering things, you know, just one pylon or one, you know, block's worth of space, and by manipulating how all these blocks connect, I've now got the ability to basically bridge all the way down to this other side if I wanted to. And across. As you've seen, that was the limit of that, but now that it can connect over here. So now I've got all this space that I can use in here completely and utterly, you know, uninterrupted, as long as I'm willing to connect everything properly. And then I was able to do the same thing bridging down this way. So now I've bridged across this gap, which means that I'll be able to continue bridging all the way down this. Hell, I might even be able to touch the sandstone if I get close enough. And bridging all the way over here as well. I probably won't be able to fill in this whole center area over here, but considering how much space I've opened up going this way, I may not need to come this way. But yeah, this is all open now. This first episode's gonna be a little wonky as I lay the foundation and the groundwork for how I want this all to look, and then go from there. But I mean, space is the primary thing that I need for beginning and intermediate base. Yeah, back to crafting. Alrighty, it's time that I quit goofing around, mucking around, and I just start to, well, get into what I need to get into. So I need to build an orbital launching system, which I'm just gonna half-assingly place here right now. Every connection transfers power, so basically all of your lower platforms and your rails and stuff, basically they all bring power, and you can work across multiple elevation levels and stuff like that. I'm gonna build that. Then I'm just gonna stick, like, I'm gonna stick this over here, because then you'll see it transfers across. Yeah, that's powered now. I gotta stop clicking that button. Yeah, just gotta send them titanium, which is over here. I didn't have any on hand readily available. I have kind of spent it. All right, now that I have my titanium, I can bring it over here and plug it directly into this.
As soon as we get the package, your reputation will increase, which will unlock new schematics for you.
Which is a neat kind of a system. It's slow, so I'll need multiples of these if I'm going to be, you know, sending everything I can back up through that rift. It's still neat looking.
The shipment has arrived. You've just proven you're useful, which means the corporation trusts you a little bit more. You've acquired new schematics. Go ahead, claim your reward.
Hooray, I'm a useful tool.
Gotcha.
And it refunded me. Alright, well, I still need more titanium ore, so I'll ship that off. Oh, that's right, I broke down my terminal because I was rebuilding everything. I gotta stop hitting the ESC key.
We've just unlocked new building schematics for you. Can you guess what they're for?
I used these machines on Mars. The rails are for drones that will carry resources between buildings. As for the ore excavator, I refuse to say what it does. I have many years of mining experience.
Lack of knowledge is nothing to be embarrassed about. The ore excavator excavates ores.
You don't say. That explains everything.
I'm glad I could help.
Thank you, gal. I forgot how expensive these are. I might have to manufacture more building pieces. No, I should have enough. Yeah! Provide enough power so that your buildings may operate. No, I did run out. I ran out at the last second. Damn it. Alrighty. There we go. Now I should be able to start this whole process, you know, just a little bit. I'm just gonna half-assingly connect things together. It's gonna be a little spaghetti, and then I'll fix things later. I'm gonna take this and snap them together.
Materials are being extracted automatically. You'll have more time to build out your base.
I have a question. Why didn't you install all available building schematics for me from the start? That would speed up my work even more.
All of the machines made available to you during your mission are delicate and extremely expensive. They are also bound by NDAs and patents. None of the companies working with the Clayward Corporation have granted permission to give you everything right away. You need to prove you are worthy of using the more advanced equipment.
But I already signed the NDA.
This will be best explained by the words of Annika Fisher, the CEO of Future Health Solutions, one of our partners. Playing recording.
There's no way I'm giving those degenerates my patents. They don't care about the law or intellectual property. But if it becomes necessary and they actually deserve it, then so be it. Don't quote me on that.
Logical. I think I've said that before.
Great work as usual. Now build the analyzer and research some local flora with it.
Alrighty, so now that another milestone has been achieved, it's time to talk about a system that has been implemented in this game. Basically, it's a pull system. And what I mean by pull system is this. So Satisfactory, Factorio, and games like Fortress Craft Evolved, and basically any other factory-style building game, use a push system. So when you connect power and your rails to your miners, your factories, or your smelters and such, they will immediately begin generating product and then pushing it onto the conveyor line. until it is fully saturated. Even if nothing else is currently taking that product that's being made, it will keep the belt saturated, which makes them kind of difficult to use for like spaghetti belts and stuff like that, or I mean sushi belts and such like that. Uses something known as a pull system, where, for instance, you see this conveyor belt is not saturated in any way, shape, or form. There are no materials on it whatsoever. If I was to come over here to this orbital cargo launcher and click this, and it said it needed like 50 titanium, I would click that 50 titanium. It would send a request down to the miner, and the miner, out of its inventory, which I believe is 100, is 100, would then only send 50 of its inventory down this conveyor belt. It would send only 50, nothing more, nothing less, because that's all that is currently being requested. So that material would go out, and it would continue to regenerate its inventory, and then that would send off all 50. So what you could do is, because this is only sending 50, you could take a Wolfram and basically use rail connectors, these floorways, to then plug that Wolfram into this line. And you could technically feed Wolfram and iron ore to something like, well, I mean, it doesn't have double inputs. I mean, even if it doesn't have double inputs, if that required titanium and the Wolfram, they would be able to share this line equally, because it wouldn't be overly saturated. So say that needed 50 titanium and 20 Wolfram, it would put in a request to both of those, and it would send only that required amount from both of them to it, so they would be able to share the line equally. It's the pull system is really kind of nice, because it gives you the ability to intermix and basically, just I said, just intermix your lines. I'll show it more in depth, but for now, I need to set up an analyzer. Where is... I have to unlock it. So plug that right there. I gotta stop hitting that, and then we're gonna feed it. You know what? I'm not gonna feed it food. I'm gonna feed it.
Once you research enough plants, send the data to our scientists and claim your reward. In the future, you will need to decide which corporations you want to share your research with. The data from Arcadia is so valuable that companies prefer to keep it to themselves, and will appreciate it when you choose them. Once you research enough plants, send the data to our scientists and claim your reward. In the future, you will need to decide which corporations you want to share your research with. The data from Arcadia is so valuable that companies prefer to keep it to themselves, and will appreciate it when you choose them.
Oh, so that wasn't just a glitch during the playtest. She does say that twice. Should be coming up on the basically the tutorial bounding box right now.
Good stuff.
Unless they expanded it way farther out than...
barrier activated.
What?
Letting you out onto the dangerous planet without completing introductory training would be too risky for this investment.
Investment?
I meant our investment into your safety. The Claywood Corporation cares about you.
Yeah, about that. I highly doubt it, but... primary reason I'm using the tutorial is just because nothing, like, overly interesting happens during the tutorial, because you're basically locked within the bounding zone, and it's giving me basically time to pre-prep my base, kind of sort of back to what I left off with in playtest. I'm basically being dull. I could break out early and, you know, run the game like I should be, but I prefer to kind of just to try and regenerate my base before I go back to where I was. I'm gonna run back over here and get some of these analyzed, because I mean, I've got nothing else to do with it right now. It's 60 frames, which ain't too bad. Running full tilt. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that, see how demanding everything will be, because it was relatively simple during the playtest, but things could have changed. You know, you can have a heart, and you can have I don't know, like
Useful
5 of
information.
those. And then I should have enough to send, yeah, level up.
It's time for the final stage of introductory training. Raw materials aren't very useful to corporations, since they need to produce something with them anyway. Use the buildings you have available and automate the production of the more valuable items.
Why can't they process them themselves? They have factories across the entire solar system.
This will be best explained by a private conversation recorded between 2 executives at the Griffiths Military Corporation.
So you're telling me all of the tax laws only apply to the solar system?
Bro, the mining tax, the cosmic fees, deductions from extraterrestrial income, the cost of insuring sensitive cargo, legally none of that applies to us. They can't even hit us with tariffs. It's free money, man.
I don't know why I asked.
I mean, free money's free money. I can't argue it. They kind of sort of fixed this. No, it's still... It still comes out half-cocked enough that it bothers my brain. And I remember spending a lot of time during my playtest series, my only 2 episodes, trying to get these to be a little bit more organized and a little less messing with my eyes and my brain. I don't know how successful I'm going to be with that this time, because it's fascinating. If I hit the ESC key while I'm building, it just opens that menu, which bothers me every time. But if I hit Q, it unselects. It's going to be a weird tick that I'm going to have to figure out. So I need to... don't know how much more I want to expand off of all this. I think I may bring it down here. It's going to mess with my brain just a little bit, but I think it'll work. And I want to, at least in this beginning area, I want to have a system built so that I can make more of these basic building materials. And I actually want to keep it kind of sort of close to over here. And then it'd probably be in my best interest to bring most of the factory, at least down to around this point, and build forward from here. That way I'm not going to be clipping into what will eventually be my solar farm over on this side. I won't be clipping into any of this should I need to expand it, but I also won't be using this back half, which I may be using for orbital launchers and stuff like that. I may have everything that the factory produces re-wrap around and go into orbital launchers that'll be on this side. Thing is how my primary, housing facility is right here and such. I need to rerun some rails. I will be right back, because this is going to be the most time-consuming part, as I also try to make my rails not bother my brain. All right, well, I'll say that'll do well enough. It's a little bit more organized. I don't think it looks quite nearly as nice as what I had in my playtest, but I think it looks a little bit more organized, at least by how I feel. And I turned all this useless land back here into a small solar farm array. Kept my window up top clear so that I can see the StarRupture when it happens. Got almost 300 power in the grid. That ain't too bad. So the next thing I need to do is connect an excavator to the smelter and the orbital control. Which should be easy enough to do. The only thing is I've got to run these lines. So this one right here is a combination of wolfram and titanium. This will feed basically eventually my basic building material crafter. And then this one is just wolfram, and this one is just titanium. 2 mines can completely saturate a single belt. So there's 2 titanium in that one and 2 wolfram in that one. So when the demand comes and the call comes, both those miners will be able to saturate these belts. Now I need to... Well, I mean, in truth and honesty, I just need to get things shipping quickly and efficiently. I mean, I don't really need to start fully crafting yet. This is just gonna look a little... If I'm gonna do it, I should probably keep running my lines. Because if I'm remembering correctly, one of these, so it's 2 to 2. So one of these can consume an entire single miner's inventory or what it can produce. So 2 of these will be able to consume both those miners and a belt's worth of material, because it's got a 2 to 2 output. Let me run... I do this and that, and then come down here and connect into... Well, I put it in the wrong area. Hang on. That one in. That one in. Which then makes this curve nicely, and then that'll plug directly into that. So yeah, it just put in a call for those resources. So yeah, both iron mines are now going to basically have those resources pulled and see how they're sharing. So they will send just the 100 that is required currently. And then as that consumes those nodes, those will both produce just what it needs. That's the whole system. Oh, even the third mine is... Okay, good. The third mine isn't getting in on it. It's just these two right here. And then as soon as it starts to consume and starts to produce, these should ship. Yep, it's shipping more. As I said, one smelter can basically consume one mine, and that's what that one's doing. That is working just like that. Which means then I can take one of these and just make this look really dumb right now, but plug that into that, that into... You know, just to get things advancing.
We're nearing the end of our training. Please answer the following questions. On a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious does being incinerated alive make you feel?
I can't think of a worse way to die, so on a scale from 1 to 10, that's a solid 3.
Understood. On a scale of 1 to 10, how afraid are you of arachnids about 1 meter in diameter?
I'm afraid of these questions.
There's no need. Questions never killed anyone.
That's what you think. There are lots of people who have died for questioning things that they should not have. And AOUS's, never heard of them. Arachnid of unusual size. There we go. Level 5 unlocked. And I know this has been at my brain just... It does weird things. This is going to be a little difficult for me to get things jump started. Basic training Arcadia 7 is over, but it's only the beginning of your sentence. Collect resources, optimize production, defend your base, and try to survive. Other players can now join your game. StarRupture is an early access game, and some elements are still a work in progress. Expect more content and improvements with future updates. And yeah.
Great job. This is the end of your introductory training. But remember that Arcadia 7 is a dangerous place, and a person will spend their entire life, or lives rather, learning from it. Stay alert, gather information, and don't worry. I'm always by your side, watching your every move.
Is that a threat?
It's for your own safety. I will now remove the introductory training restrictions. Location barrier disabled. Sedative injector disconnected. Communications channel active. Awakening other crew members ready. The Claywood Corporation hopes you will have a wonderful adventure and quickly pay off your debt. Good luck.
Can you hear me?
What was that?
Oh, don't worry. It's only B1690, one of your colleagues. You're connected via audio, even when they're not currently active.
When they're not active?
The human brain can't go on for too long without stimulation. When sleeves are sleeping in the regeneration chamber, they get a constant audio and video feed of everything you do. They can also communicate with you. You'll also get this opportunity.
Everything?
Relax. You have nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, it says you. And yes, I did buy the supporter pack because basically I was like, oh, I can get Green Hell as well? Cool, I'm gonna do that as well. That's another good game.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I bought that because now I've got Green Hell. Yeah, these are shipping off the way they're supposed to. Eating it hungry, hungry, hungry it is. So once I get the fabricators unlocked, I'll be able to move into some of the more advanced ways of how I want to construct things. Damn if that ain't taking a while. I'm just gonna let it build. I'm not gonna bother spending my points right now. Then I'll be able to get things fully optimized. I should probably go that inventory upgrade as well. So now that all the restrictions have been lifted and I'm kind of sort of back to where I originally was. I mean, the bases, the amount of expansion room I have is far greater than what I had in my previous playthrough, but I'm not back to where I was yet. Still got a lot to go. Got a fresh set of war bonds. I'll have to put a lot of this stuff to use later. War bonds are what I'm most excited for, just because, granted, you can find them around the game world on corpses and stuff like that, but I didn't really get to experiment too much with the weapons and the like.
Come to mama. Looks good.
You know, during the play test, cause ooh, those are over there, are they? Yeah, I don't want to mess with the AOUSs. At least not yet. I can take them on. It's just I'd rather have my pistol. I would rather have my pistol before I go messing with the local wildlife. I need to keep gathering.
I'm getting better at this.
Yeah, food and water. Ow, survival leveled up. Where do I see those? I don't remember. There we go. Movement, combat, survival. Remember correctly, these cactuses are great. Yeah, they give you calories and hydration. Not as much of each, but they're still...
Oh, nice.
Still great. More AOUSs. Seem to be a lot more of them than I remember. Kinda glad I left all this open down here. I think this new beginner / intermediate base is going to be just kind of nice. At least to me anyways. How much room do I have over here? Because I like to have walk paths as well in between everything. Because I've got a lot of room back here that's going to be kind of sort of not used. Just because of how I have things being developed. Because I didn't want to use this whole section right here for the factory. Because nothing sucks more than building and then realizing you basically blocked yourself on account of your other buildings and stuff like that. I figure as long as I stay ahead of this line or on this line, I can continuously... Well, no, I'll be in trouble because I'll come down here, and if I have to bring lines in, I'll be bumping up against this. So already I've got to move everything ahead just slightly. At least by 1 to 2 blocks, that way I can leave room for additional lines. Truth and honesty, I should turn this off. As if I'm gonna break everything down. You know, I'll be back.
Delivered. The Moon Energy Corporation thanks you for your shipment. Congratulations. Your reward in you can now unlock new functionality for your buildings at the recipe station.
But the buildings can already do these things. Why would we need to unlock anything?
Tier 7 is a very particular place, full of specific resources and requirements. The building's programming needs to be updated as these requirements change, to avoid unnecessarily clogging up memory as well as transfer fees.
It's the Claywood Corporation that determines the cost of transfer. You could lower the price and everything would go smoother.
I'll respond with one of Mr. Claywood's favorite sayings. This is exactly why you're not the richest person in the world.
And also not how anything works in the world or how any other natural-born human being would operate, because whether you like it or not, if you are in control of something, you're not going to do whatever it takes to make the least amount of money possible. It's not how the world works. It's not how humans work. It's just not. You see, if everything was cheaper, yeah, well, you're in control. Would you actually make it cheaper? Well, I would. Yeah, and then it would change. Insert. Oh, oops. That's not what I wanted to do. Fabricator, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able... I want to be able to make these. As I said, I'm out just kind of reorganizing and designing and trying to get things working. For that to happen, first off, I need to get that unlocked so that I can come out here and build a new fabricator module, because as I said, the thing about fabricators is they have double inputs. And I also want to be able to make this. I want to see if... I know it looks goofy, it's just a demo, because as I said, the belts themselves can handle 2 mines worth of materials. And they're going to ship everything they can in one burst, and then they will go to a slowdown mode. So I want to see how this works with both of these. Alright, so yeah, they're sharing intelligently. And then coming down here,
better at this.
Being plugged in. So soon this will hit its maximum amount, and then there will be less Wolfram on the line. And then the iron, the titanium will take over. And then they will both equalize, and basically there won't be this huge amount up here. It'll just be like a 2 to 2. And this is, it's 10 every 2. So technically so both mines should technically be able to feed 2 of these. So it consumes 1 material every 2 seconds to produce 10 of these. So yeah, technically I could run 2 of these off of that output over there. As each mine is producing 2, and this is only consuming 1 every 2 seconds, that leaves me basically just 2 extra. I'm bad at math. My brain struggles with math. I don't know why, but I love games like this. It's weird. I'm weird. I'm a broken human being. What can I say? All right, so yeah, that's a good idea. So then I'll be able to separate these out into at least another one of these, and this will give me 1,000 or 2,000. So, well, I've got an idea. Alrighty, sudden cut. Man, I may have done a few things. I may have come home from work and basically just zoned out and turned into a zombie because, yeah, I've got more solar panels. And I've got orbital launchers. And a micro factory. And lines. I may have just completely and utterly zoned out and not bothered to record anything because, you know, I'm a goober. Throw down a quick save. So, yeah, I've got all of this now. I've got my,
I can use that.
Basic building material stuff over here. Which, hopefully, depending on what the eventual intermediate variants of this, well, basically that one require. Hopefully I can expand this down this line just enough to keep it within here, but also gain access to the intermediates. I'm not really sure. But, yeah, all that's running. And I can come down here. So I've got 2 titanium mines which flow in this way and feed both of these currently. Each one of these takes 2 titanium ore and every 2 seconds to produce 2 titanium bars. So basically both of these, when they're running, will completely tap out those 2 mines, which basically produce 2 ore every 2 seconds. So these 2 have the ability to tap both those out. These then feed in down here, where these are making rods. These use 1 titanium bar every 2 seconds to make 1 titanium rod. So 2 of these tap out a smelter. So these are being completely, or that 1 smelter is being completely used to make these iron rods. Same with that one. Just in case when these eventually shut down or they don't have any place to put stuff, the titanium bars that come out of here can then hit here, go this way into overflow, and basically join the main line going down towards the orbital launchers. That material won't be needed for very long, but at least I have the ability to put it into the delivery system. And then, because those are tapping out those 2 mines, and I may eventually, well, I mean, I'm eventually going to upgrade these lines to tier 2s and then tier 3, so these will get a lot faster. So eventually I'm going to put more titanium ore on these lines, so now they shunt this way as well. So when these aren't running, any excess titanium can come this way and go into these, where these make more titanium bars. These titanium bars then come down this way, where eventually they will be used to make titanium beams, which it takes 1 titanium bar to make 1 beam every 3 seconds. So technically, this smelter is not being tapped out by both of these. I actually have 1 remaining titanium bar left over, because, as I said, that produces 2 titanium bars every 2 seconds, and this uses 1 every 3 seconds. So every 2 seconds, 2 bars will be made, and on the 3rd second, 1 bar will be made. So I'll have 3 extra bars, and then on the 4th second, the 2nd bar will show up, but by that time, this will have already eaten 1 or 2 of those original bars and been working on the 3rd bar, and then the 4th bar will just go into overflow, which is going this way as well. So that goes into general. And then this side will be making titanium sheets, which only require 1 titanium bar to make 2 to 2. So that completely taps out this smelter. Yeah. Which, you know, as I said, overflow, and then those go into that. And then I come down here and I've got my Wolfram, which is, you know, doing its thing, which this one is not fully tapped out. This smelter, because this smelter can technically feed 4 of these Wolfram wire fabricators, but that seems a little overkill. I think 2 will be fine, because as I said, it's one Wolfram bar every 4 seconds, and it makes 2. So yeah, it would be these would be able to eat 4 of these would be able to completely tap out that smelter, but I'm not doing that. And then this one, these sets down here will eventually make Wolfram plates, which are 1-to-1, which will tap that out, because every 2 seconds it'll make 2, and every 1 second it will consume 1. So it's literally going to be that thing racing to keep up with these. So yeah, that's how that'll work. That's at least going to be, you know, this little bit of an intermediate area, because once I have the beams, the sheets, the Wolfram plates, the iron bars, and the wire, I can then eventually make, you know, these rotors which take the rods and the wire, or these tubes which take the rods and the sheets, or these stabilizers which take the rotors and the titanium rods and titanium housing. I got to figure out where to make those, and I have no idea how to make glass or just standard tubes. Part of the issue I had with running out of time with playtest. Yeah, those are like that, and then those come down here, where basically all the material that's being made will be shunted this way into these orbital launchers, and it'll just go down here and around and up and over, and it won't be too fast, but it will be quick enough for my needs. So for instance, I can go like this. And now these are all putting in call demands, and since these are the last at the end, or the last of the at the end of the chain, these will get filled up first before these ones at the beginning of the chain. So hopefully I will be able to, and yeah, I could use rods for these, but I've got so much of this extra material. How did I? Right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. I know you're stuck, but beeping at me. Quiet. And that, and then that. So yeah, these will now all start filling and launching. Oh, there's the rift. I wish the rift was animated. I wish the planet was animated. I wish the rift was animated. I wish it wasn't just like a static skybox element. It would be really cool if you could actually see these going all the way up, and then you'd see like the rift flash as things, you know, got sent through and stuff like that. Like, there needs to be more with that. Then come over here, and we're gonna go with this. And all of this. I don't have any of that, but I do have this. And turn that back on. And now once all these have their queue basically eaten up, these other elements will start going into these intelligently, because as I said, it's a pull system, not a push system. These are now pulling only the resources required out of those. I don't know how far back the queue is, but I'd have to say it's probably pretty far back. Look at them go! Soon there'll be 16 of these doing it. But yeah, my after just there we go. They're starting to pack in. After just as much as I'd been working and doing stuff, I came home and I let my brain shut off. It just turned to mush, and granted, you know, this isn't a whole lot considering I let my brain shut off, but I don't know, I felt pretty relaxed. There's 28 in there, 16 in there, 10 in there. This should be able to keep the system firing off relatively well. When do you get your titanium, I wonder? You get your titanium now. Oh, there's a second one. Will there be a third one? All right, there's a third one. So these are starting to... The amount of time it takes for this to fill versus consuming this is actually slow enough that the daisy chain is able to start, you know, keeping up. So these should be continuously launching and continuously filling to an extent. Maybe not. I don't know. It's a work in progress. It's just the beginner setup. Things will really change once I have faster belts and stuff, and I'm able to move like 240 units instead of just the standard 120. Yeah, rifts are going up, or shuttles are going up to the rift. I have been through at least 2 ruptures just because it took me forever just continuously rebuilding, and rebuilding because my brain doesn't let me just go with things. Yeah, these are filling up steadily, and as they slowly shut down more and other ones will be, you know, filling up quicker. Just gonna let those go for the time being. I got 590 units of power in this system right now. I've actually been thinking, you know, while these are all running and doing their own little thing and such like that. Because there's a calcite mine or calcite sand or whatever the hell it's called way over there. There's also the one over there. There's also copper and titanium around here. I'm wondering which one of these I want to tap into first. I know I want more titanium. And in truth and honesty, with how far back they are, I could technically tap that, bring those up and around.
Future Health Solutions is now receiving all requested items. New rewards and tasks are waiting for you in the terminal.
And plug them into the back of the base. That way they join, you know, the general production flow as they go in. Which would probably be my best option with the way those 3 are situated. But I could technically also do the same with those 3. It wouldn't be too hard to tap them and then run them this way, but what I need to figure out is how protected everything is when it's outside of a base core. Because I don't know if I can just run lines safely, you know, along the environment, and when a star rupture happens, if it will destroy everything outside of it, or if it'll just superheat it and shut it down, or if I have to go out and cool it down. I bet it... I don't know. There's certain things that I just don't know enough about yet that are gonna have to... I'm just gonna have to test.
Come to mama.
Because I have noticed that, like out here free running in the environment, my energy bleeds away really fast, especially if I'm double jumping. But I've noticed that when I'm on my powered platforms and stuff, I can run for days. I can run for days on these. So I'm wondering if it is almost worth it to... I mean, it's already lined up. I could run an entire path down there and then run an entire path over there and repeat the process and hope that, you know, a star rupture doesn't just nuke these things out of existence when they're no longer covered by the bounding box. If it superheats them and everything cools down over time without that, that'd be great, but if it destroys them, well, that'll be an even bigger problem for me. Look at them all go. Oh, that's neat. That's a hell of a view. It almost looks like it's closer than it was. I'm gonna like this game. It's just, it's nice to kind of just zone out and just turn the brain off. I don't know. I've got things to think about. I'll probably do a little bit more of certain range that they'll stop rendering. What is the range they'll stop rendering, or has it met its needs? Huh. Oh, nope, they're still going up. It's just going slow. So I'm probably going to spend like some time on my own just moving around and collecting some of this more miscellaneous stuff out in the environment in preparation, but I'm going to try not to advance things too far because I still want to get the story elements. I still want to get the characters' voice lines and stuff all, you know, in my videos as I explore the map. You know, I don't want to jump around too much. You know what? I think I'm gonna call this video for now. I think enough's been done. I haven't heard her make a call out yet for any more things being filled. I wonder what a good place to get a just like an ending shot would be. Maybe from the top.
Congratulations. Clever Robotics has received its order. A reward for fulfilling the order is waiting for you in the terminal.
Oh, why, thank you. How many of these have we fulfilled? So far, just 2. We've got a 3rd one on the way. That 4th one is going to be done here in a second.
Griffith's Blue Corporation is grateful for all of your shipments. Remember that supporting this particular company will allow you to upgrade your arsenal, which will certainly help in surviving on Arcadia.
I don't have the building drone yet, so I can't exactly get high enough for a decent shot. And I ain't gonna be able to get up here. I could probably build a ramp, though. And do I have a ramp? Or ooh, could I build a vertical connector and be on my roof? I wish to go to the roof. No. All right, how about a standard ladder? I think I've seen one of those in here somewhere. Ladder. What are the odds I can build this from the outside? Aha! Yeah, there we go. That'll work temporarily, you know. I can only see so much even with my resolution up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave this video here. StarRupture's pretty great, and it scratches one hell of an itch, and well, I've got no complaints so far, so I thank you all for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video and you happen to like the content that I create, feel free to do the normal YouTube stuff, the likes, the comments, shares, subscribe, whichever you prefer. Either way, I thank you for, you know, watching my videos, help my channel to grow, and well, just being here in general means a lot. And so, I will see you all in the next video. Bye.